today's video, we'll show you how to change the rear brake pads and rotors of a 2004 to 2008 Acura TSX. And as usual, we'll share a couple of quick tips and we'll go through the whole thing together. If you're watching BrakeX, let's get started. So, first things first, we'll take off the wheels. And once we get the wheel off, there will be two bolts waiting for us on the caliper. And here's the top one. After that, we'll get the bottom one out, and it should be relatively easy. And just before we can take the caliper off, there's one more bolt right at the back. And this is how we take it off, just on the side. And now we can use a flathead, just give it a little nudge. We're good to wiggle it off. And same thing, use a flathead, maybe a hammer, give it a little punch. And the pads should come right off. And once you get the pads off, don't forget the clips. Same story, use a flathead, give it a little nudge, it should come right off. And now, it's time to get the caliper bracket off your car. Now there's two bolts holding the caliper bracket, and it's both at the back. Now this part should be pretty easy. It should be relatively simple to locate the two bolts. Just give it a little break and spin it right off. Now, once the bracket's off, it's time to work on the rotor. Now get yourself a screwdriver and use the hammer. Just give it a little punch, and there's two screws holding on the rotor. And we'll spin it right off. Now for a car this old, the rotor would very likely be stuck on the hub. So take your hammer, give it a good punch, and it should come right off. Now the next step to clean up the hub from the rust, the old grease, and the brake dusts. If you have air tool, that's great. If you don't, just a wire brush would be fine. And the trick here is not to make it brand new. It just has to be clean. And we'll do the same thing to the caliper bracket. Now we just want to clean up the area that the new pads and the new clips would be sitting on. You're really just cleaning off the old brick dusts. And for today's video, we'll be using the BrakeX Alpha brake pads with the BrakeX Aegis GEOMET fully coated rotors. So, if you liked the video so far, or if you find this useful, make sure to check us out at brake-x.com and experience the original braking at the excellence. And the next steps to grease up the caliper bracket. And now we say this in every single one of our video. The right amount of grease is not to flood your caliper. You just have to cover up where the clip goes on. And now goes the clip. Now just before we put everything back together, we'll want to remove the caliper pin bolts to give it a little checkup and grease it up. To do that, very gently remove the pin bolts from the caliper and be very careful not to break the rubber part. And once the pin bolt's out, we can wipe it down and grease it up. And it's the same technique. The right amount of grease is not to flood it, you just have to have it covered up. And we put it back in. Now we'll do the same thing to the other side. And when we're putting the pin bolts back in, we can give the rubber part a little push and pull to make sure there's no cracks and nothing's broken. Now we'll want to grease up the hub, and it's the same thing. You don't want to flood it, just the right amount. And here goes the rotor. And the quick tip here would be to make sure the holes on the rotor and the hub for the screws are lining up. Now we'll get the screws back on and it will be good as new. After that, it's time to put the caliper bracket back on the caliper. The quick tip here would be to mount the top bolt first, followed by the bottom bolt, and then screw everything in. It's always easier to mount the bolt first before you wrench it. Now we wrench and tighten it just like this. And now we'll tighten it up once more. You don't want your caliper to be loose. After that, we'll use the caliper piston tool to spin the piston back into the caliper. Now before we put the pads on the caliper, we'll have to grease it up. And it's the same story. We just want the right amount. Don't flood it, don't flood it, don't flood it. And you'd also only need the grease on where it's gonna sit on the clips. So anywhere that's not contacting, you don't need any grease. And it should slide right in. Now we can wiggle the caliper back in, and we can mount the two bolts at the back. And after we give it a good spin, we can wrench it up. And we'll tighten it up once again. Again, you don't want your caliper to be loose, so make sure it's tight. And don't forget the one sneaky bolt at the back. And we are all good to go. Now we can put the wheels back on the car. And always remember to tighten the lugs up in the start curve. And now we can slowly lower the vehicle, and just as the wheel touches the ground, we can torque the wheel. And we are all set. Thank you for coming back. We hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you liked the video. And if you find it useful, make sure to check us out at BrakeX.com. And we'll see you again next time.